everybody. Welcome to another edition of Inside the Pink. My name is Scott Morgan, Motor City Man Mouth. Great crew, as in the eyes of Tony the Tiger, the Frosted Flakes guy. Okay. He does that great better than anybody I've ever seen. And let me introduce that great crew. Over to my right, got Mel Farr Jr. Welcome back, Mel.
Good evening, everyone.
Get ready, some fireworks tonight, people. Andy Candavino, it's your time to shine, brother. Go out there and do it, which I know you will anyways.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you back as well. Ed McAndrew, always great to have you on as well. Like the
always fun to be here. Thank you. I found it somewhere on the floor or something. I don't know.
And Jeremy, he's got good. I believe he's got a pretty good hat on there as well, don't you?
Yes, sir.
See it well. Enjoy it. Everybody wearing the company colors. Don't worry, Andy. I got a hat already here for you at home that I'm going to give you when I see it for the first time. Trust me, it'll be original.
You got one from Mel too.
This
and Mel's got one too.
Great.
Yeah, there you go. And Mel and Andy will be matching when we give them these two caps. My word. And last but not least, a lady that doesn't need a hat, but she wears a lot of them here on the network. That's Candy. Glad to have you. Let's go ahead and get to our. We have a lot of topics to get to, and we're definitely good to go out there and get to them. We're going to start off in a very championship manner because former Ravens QB and 4 other Ravens legends win a UFL championship. Let's talk about who they are. The head coach is Chris Redmond of the Louisville Kings. Chris did a really good job there with the Louisville Kings. Jamie Sharper, defensive coordinator with the Louisville Kings. Chris McAllister, defensive backs coach, Louisville Kings. Got a few coaches in there. No problem. Tony Banks, wide receivers coach, Louisville Kings. Well, Tony Banks, a lot of people have heard about him. And last but not least, we got Brad Jackson, the linebackers coach, Louisville Kings. Well, you know what? When it came to coaches, this is a pretty good group, isn't it, Mel?
Yeah, it definitely seems so. Yeah, I didn't follow. That was for the UFL, you said?
Yeah, Night Football League, Louisville Kings.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't watch much of that this year, but yeah, that's great for those guys, and it's great experience for them too. You know, being former football players gives them some real life training under fire that will pay off for them, pay huge dividends for them somewhere down the road, I'm sure.
Okay. Andy, some thoughts about these guys. He's pretty good coaches.
Yeah, they're very great coaches. I didn't follow UFL that much either, but it's great to get some experience. They're all trying to get to the big show, to the NFL, and hopefully they'll get there.
Ed?
You know, it was Louisville's first season in the UFL. I think it's pretty good of the 4 of them. It shows of what they learned coming out of the Ravens organization. You know, the Ravens have been successful for a long time. Actually, girl I went to college with, her son was playing on the offensive line, I think, for them. I think it's great, and it's just going to be a spring. It's going to be a springboard to the next level for these guys if that's what they desire. Good for them, especially winning it first year in the league, winning the champion, and it was against my DC team, so who's been in the championship a couple times. So good for them. See what they do in the coming year.
Yeah, to answer your question, Eddie, I believe he was a quarterback at Michigan State. Great for
yes, he was. All right,
go ahead.
He began
take it from there.
He began at San Diego Mesa State. He played for, it looks like,
Nick Saban,
4 different teams in the NFL. He played for St. Louis Rams, Baltimore Ravens, Washington Redskins, and the Houston Texans. He had a career that spanned from 1996 to 2005. A couple of those were injury-shortened years. As a starter, he was 35 and 43. Touchdown to interceptions was 77 touchdowns and 73 interceptions. But it looks like he coached a pretty good wide receiving class because 2 of them have been playing for the Lions lately in preseason.
Okay. Great stuff, Jeremy. Candy, take us home with it.
I mean, it's awesome for them in their first year to win against the DC in the United Bowl on June 13th. They also are owned let out by Alpha Aquaco, which is led by Dwayne Johnson and Fox Corporation. So a lot of good coaches. Obviously, they meshed well with the team because to win in your first year is that's really great.
Okay, as we continue on, we've got some great.
Hello,
got some
Brad.
Hey,
He's in
Brad,
the
how you
chat.
doing,
All
buddy?
right.
There he is in the chat room. Great stuff, Brad. All right, let's talk about the North Carolina Tar Heels for a moment because North Carolina has named veteran transfer Billy Edwards the team starter for the opener, his debut for the Tar Heels against TCU in Ireland in week 0. Keep in mind, though, that Billy Edwards was actually a Wisconsin starter last year. Let's talk about Billy Edwards out working with Bill Belichick. Mel?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch him play very much. And to be honest with you, I don't have, we know how, there's a big debate going on whether it was Belichick or whether it was Brady. I don't know how serious, Bill Belichick is taking coaching right now, taking college coaching right now.
Right.
So, I mean, it's great for the kid. He's going to get an opportunity to start. But again, I haven't followed that much. I haven't followed the kid that much. And right now, I don't know if Bill's making the decisions or his girlfriend's making the decisions. So I don't know who made the decision to make this guy the starting quarterback.
That's great stuff, Mel. I like the way you stick the girlfriend part in there. All right, Andy.
I think he was the 2023 Bowl MVP. This is his 4th team, so he's been around. So that shows, he can kind of play in any offense. Maybe Bill Belichick, of course, coach Tom Brady, and maybe he can bring this kid to the next level and get Bill Belichick, to the top 10. Maybe Bill hasn't done the greatest job there. Maybe this kid can take him to the next step.
Okay, Eddie.
Lake Forest, Maryland, Wisconsin, and North Carolina are his 4. Well, North Carolina coming up this year. He's coming off a knee injury that he suffered in Wisconsin. So then he went into the portal to go play with Mr. Belichick. So it'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to depend upon how that knee healed. And, I think it's going to show. I think this is kind of a make or break year for Bill with regards to the college football scene. To see if it's really his cup of tea or if it's more I don't know, more for the girlfriend. I guess I'll follow Mel's lead, and maybe it's more for the girlfriend that he's there. I don't know,
Yeah.
but no, I think it'll be an interesting watch.
All right, Jeremy, go ahead.
Well, the Wake Forest thing, which is kind of weird because he was almost a redshirt freshman that year. He didn't play a snap. And he transferred because he was buried on the depth chart. But he has started 28 games in his career. His completions are 318 out of 512 attempts, which is a 62.1 completion percentage, which is just average in college. It's nothing bad and it's nothing good. At least he's above that 60%. Ryan Leaf NFL line. Passing yards is 34-35. He has 6.7 yards per attempt, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and a passer rating of 126.8. He also has 144 rushing attempts for 375 yards for only 2.6 carries, but 13 rushing touchdowns. So he's one of those guys that isn't afraid to put his head down and lower a shoulder into somebody to get into an end zone and goal line situations. That's what it sounds like. He's that type of quarterback. He's not the most athletic, but he uses his bigger frame to help. So he's had 32 total touchdowns in his career, and he's amassed 3,798 yards in 28 games, which is not glaringly good or bad. It's just basically an average, somewhat athletic quarterback in the NCAA.
Great research, Jeremy. Excellent. Probably a kid. Okay, go ahead, Candy.
So to try and wrap some of this, since some of the other guys took what I was going to say, I will say when he transferred to Maryland, he was not the starter, but in week 7, he replaced Tua's brother, Taglio. I can never say the name.
Talia
Yeah,
Talia Tagovailoa.
Exactly.
Or
And he
if you want to talk about Tua, it's turn the ball over. But anyways,
In his first collegiate start in 2022, he completed 18 of 28 passes, 166 yards, touchdown, while he also added 66 yards on the ground in a win over Northwestern. So that's not like a huge, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Yeah, great, great. Um, and then he was the team's starting quarterback for the 2023 Music City Bowl. He did get MVP there. He finished that season going 10 for 30 passes, 128 yards. He did on December 16th of 2024 transferred to Wisconsin. This is part of Luke Fickell's, I hate to say this, the MO that he's had ever since he took over the job for Wisconsin. His starting quarterback goes down early in the season. So in the Badgers opening game of the 2025 season against Miami of Ohio, Edwards suffers a left knee injury that ruled him out of the Badgers' next two games. He briefly returned to face his old team, Maryland, but exited after completing one offensive series. He would not play any games the rest of the season, claiming the injury was a grade 3 PCL sprain. And then he entered the portal again, and he was granted he entered the transfer portal after being granted a medical redshirt and sixth season of eligibility. And that is where we are now, where he's playing for Bill at North Carolina.
All right, there you go. And you'll see him against TCU in the opener. All right, well, Mel, I got to ask you a question. How do you refer to the Chargers? Where are they from? Where are they at?
San Diego.
And well, it's good in your mind they are, because that's a good prelude for what I'm about to talk about. Great stuff, Mel. One thing about you, you're very consistent about your geography. That's for sure. So we'll talk about the fact that in 1981, the San Diego Chargers were well ahead of their time. Why do I say that? Well, get this. You've got Dan Fouts, 4,802 passing yards, 33 passing TDs, 17 interceptions, 90.6 quarterback rating for Don Coryell as a coach. Chuck Muncie, 1,144 rushing yards, 43 receptions, 1,506 yards, 19 touchdowns. Charlie Joyner, 70 catches, 1,188 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns. Kellen Winslow, 88 receptions, 1,075 receiving yards, 10 touchdowns. Was really good for a tight end, let me tell you. Wes Chandler, not so bad either. 52 receptions, 857 yards, 5 touchdowns. And there you have it. Mel, some thoughts about the San Diego Chargers being ahead of their time.
Yeah, I mean, that's 1981. I mean, that's what Air Coryell, that's where all that started. And Ernie Zampese, if I'm not mistaken, he was a part of that offense. And then he ended up going to the Rams. And we had some pretty prolific offenses in the Rams. He had some pretty prolific offenses with the Rams. And then from Ernie Zampese, there was Norv Turner, and Norv went to Dallas. And he's the one that, helped turn that program around and got them 2 Super Bowls with Troy Aikman and Jimmy Johnson and the rest of the crew down there. So, yeah, I mean, that he was definitely ahead of his time. Don Coryell doesn't get a lot of credit for it. Kellen Winslow was like the first flex tight end that I can remember. The guy that, stood up primarily. The tight ends had their hand in the ground. At the end of the line of scrimmage, he was the first guy that was kind of flexing and was standing up playing tight end. My brother really loved John Jefferson. As a matter of fact, he wore number 83 in high school because he liked John Jefferson so much. Yeah, they had some pretty prolific offense. And of course, I love Chuck Muncie, big running back with bad intentions. I enjoyed watching those football games.
Yeah, they were a lot. I'll never forget when I first moved to Miami, when they had that epic battle between the Dolphins and the Chargers that went deep in overtime, and I think Kellen Winslow was completely exhausted against the Miami Dolphins. Go ahead, Andy.
It's funny because they opened up the passing game as far as changing the rules. Everyone wanted to throw the ball. But if you look today, everyone seems to be more on the conservative side. You got to run the ball in the NFL. You got to play great defense. You got to have the big offensive line. And it's just funny. I think when Eric Coryell came out, everyone thought that was the future of the NFL. But I think times have changed, and they realize running game helps, passing game. You got to keep the defense off the field or they get tired. So, it changed the game back then, but you know what? It hasn't gone forward. You don't see teams passing 40, 50 times. You see them, 20 rushes, 20
Right.
passes, 25. So it changed the game back then, but it's coming back conservatively again.
Okay. Great points, Andy. Appreciate you. And again, the guy's on his third show. He's going to be a pro before it's all said and done. I can see it in his voice and the way he talks. All right, go ahead, Andy.
No, actually, this Eric Coryell in San Diego brings back great memories. My buddy across the street was from San Diego, so besides us following the Redskins, we also followed the Chargers back in the day when we were playing football out in the street. Because we were, somebody was Dan Fouts or Kellen Winslow and stuff like that. It was a fun team to watch. They were opening it up. The Redskins at that time were more of a ground and pound. We were running the ball a lot with Riggins and the Hogs as we get into it. So it was a good time. But to Andy's point, it's still not. You thought that was going to really open it up, but I don't think it's opened up as much as it could have been based on how they were starting.
Jeremy?
There's a couple other unsung heroes that season that everybody's forgetting about. Charlie Joyner had a career high 1,188 yards at 34 years old. You already said Chuck Muncie. They also traded away three players at midseason.
Mm-hmm.
John Jefferson was traded to the Packers, Fred Dean to the 49ers, and Wes Chandler was acquired from the Saints and finished with 1,142 yards combined between the two teams, between the Saints and Chargers that year. But the big news is, that was the first time anybody threw for 4,800 yards. That was a record at the time. And they also are still the highest in scoring in a season in that short of a season time at 478 points. It was the highest scoring offense in NFL history at that point.
If you would have saw how exhausted Don Shula was after that game, because that was an epic game at the Orange Bowl. It's just surreal. Go ahead, Candy.
Yeah, and what came to be known the epic in Miami, San Diego led 24-0, trailed 38-31, and won 41-38 after nearly 14 minutes of overtime, having blocked two potential game-winning field goals by the Dolphins. But to your point there, Donald Coryell was the first head coach to win more than 100 games, both at the collegiate and professional level. He was inducted into the Chargers Hall of Fame in 94, the College Football Hall of Fame in 99, and the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2023.
Great stuff. Okay, let's talk about holdouts. A lot of times they don't work out. They certainly didn't do it for Jacoby Brissett either. We talked about him briefly. Jeremy mentioned him last week on the show. Now we're going to go into more specifics about him as well. I think we were talking about Carson Beck, right, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're going to follow up on just a little bit thanks to Jeremy Ballrick. Well, holdout failed. Obviously, Cardinals quarterback Jacoby Brissett did go ahead and report to their mandatory mini camp, but he actually had a holdout looking to find a deal that obviously wasn't there in the mystery phases of the OTAs. Let's continue the theme. He is showing up to avoid paying fees. That's what'll happen these days with these things. As it's a mandatory camp, he would have been fined over $100,000 for not showing up. Brissett's current deal pays him $4.8 million with $1.5 million in guarantees. Projected backup Gardner Minshew signed a $5 million fully guaranteed deal for this. Okay, let's start with you, Mel.
My internet must be. I kind of went out for a second. So what was the question? I know we were talking about Jacoby Brissett, but then I lost you for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeremy. Why don't you summarize this because you're going to come on in this one next anyway.
Well, he actually did get money this year. They raised him he had a deal similar to Minshew's, but they raised him to a 1-year deal worth $15.5 million guaranteed with the max value of $21 million after incentives. That's what they ended up giving him. That's why he came back to camp. And because it happened before that day 4 of the training camp, he was able to keep his roster workout bonus. If he'd have went that complete full week, that's 5 days, he'd have lost it.
Right, but the reality is at that particular time, though, you got to show up to even be talking to anybody. Would you agree with that? Because
he was there.
Talk to him.
He was there
Right.
in contract extensions the entire time. That's what I was trying to say. He was actually a hold-in. He was a holdout through OTAs, but it became a hold-in at the beginning of training camp because he didn't want to lose that roster bonus.
All right, go ahead, Mel. Take it from there. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean that's the new thing, holding in.
Right.
When they did the collective bargaining agreement, I've always said, we probably had one of the poorest one of the weaker unions, I should say, as far as what we're able to extract from the owners. And so, I don't know what they gave up to get this, but that was some leverage that players had, is that they could hold out, withhold their services. And it didn't cost that much. It might have been, if you got fined, it was minimal. Now the fines are so large where it doesn't make sense for a player to hold out anymore. Some have, which is not very smart, because they're not allowed to take the money back and all the things that they used to be able to do when players would hold out. Now it's so punitive that it doesn't make any sense for guys to hold out. So now what they'll do is they'll just hold in, they'll come in, they'll do the conditioning, and their back gets tight or something like that, or they got some soft tissue injury, and they just kind of hang out, and everybody really knows what's going on. And it's it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of the way things are, because of the way that the way things are written in the collective bargaining agreement, as far as what the fine would be. It's so punitive now for them to hold out that the only thing they can do is hold in and withhold their services. So I'm glad that Jacoby got a little bit of money, but obviously the writing's on the wall for him. He's been around for a while. He's just a placeholder right now. I think they like the kid out of Miami. I mean, he looks the part getting off the bus, without question, played a lot of football. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets his opportunity.
Okay, Andy.
I mean, he got paid and he deserved it, but the NFL, the owners basically hold all the cards. It's very hard to go against the owners as far as holding out. There's not a lot you can do. You don't have much leverage at all. There's no real free agency in the NFL, unlike baseball and basketball. So they're in a tough situation. I think the owners basically have all the power, and it's very tough for the players to really gain any leverage. And he got paid, but he had a hold in. I guess that's what they call it now. So, but they don't have much leverage. The players, the NFL, the owners have the most of the leverage.
Great points, Andy. Go ahead, Eddie.
It's tough to see that you guys, they have to end up doing this to get paid or get what they're worth or what they deserve and so on, whether it's holding in or holding out. I think our two resident football players, I think, summed it up, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, well, Jeremy already went, so we'll turn over to Candy. Unless there's something else you want to add to it, Jay.
No, that's basically it.
Okay, no, you did a good job updating it then, and that's what we had then. We have before and after shots of what you just described. Great stuff, Jeremy. Excellent stuff, as always. All right, Katie, go ahead.
So Jacoby Brissett, did you know that he was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, Scott? And do you know where he played college football?
I was afraid to ask. Go ahead.
He started at Florida in 2011 to 2012. And then your favorite coach brought him over to NC State in
Seriously?
2013.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes.
I'm sick to my stomach now.
Yes.
It wasn't my cooking that did it. But go ahead, Karen.
He took over the Wolfpack starting quarterback in 2014. That year he passed for 2,600 yards with 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and as a senior in 2015 he passed for 2,662, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He was selected by the New England Patriots in the 3rd round with the 91st overall pick in the 2016 NFL draft. He was the 5th quarterback to be selected that year. And he was the only player selected in the 2016 draft who declined to hire an agent way back when. So he was with the Patriots, the Colts, the Dolphins, the Browns, Commanders, Patriots again, and now Arizona. He has completed 1,391 passes on 2,296 attempts. His touchdown to interception ratio is 76 to 32. He's passed for 14,766 yards. And I'll leave it at that.
Please do, because I don't want to get more depressed after what I heard on this one. I'm just kidding. I don't get depressed on over that stuff. All right, well, let's talk about a guy who's Vance Joseph returns to Denver with missing out on a head coaching job. Sean Payton was praising his impact and confidence that opportunity will come. So Sean Payton's response to Vance Joseph was, I'm thrilled he's back. Selfishly, I'll do anything, everything to help him. All right, now this is a good story.
What about Van Joseph's coming back to coaching in Denver?
He's back in Denver. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Sean is thrilled about that. He's given up play calling. And now he has a very capable play caller on the defensive side of the ball that's coming back. Makes his job just that much easier. He can sit back and be the CEO, overlook everything, make sure everything is running the way that it's supposed to be running. But yeah, I think Vance Joseph, I think he got a raw deal. Wasn't he the head coach at Denver at one time? Didn't he have that job?
He was from 2017 and 18, an 11-21 record at that time. But wasn't that during the time they had Paxton Lynch as a starter?
Oh God, that's depressing. Oh, he failed.
I don't know. I'm not sure if that was his first job or his second job. I don't know how many opportunities.
That was his first head coach job in the NFL, and the only one he had. He became the defensive coordinator of the Cardinals in 2019.
Let's be honest. Sometimes people are better coordinators than they are head coaches, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody deserves to have the opportunity. If you're a real good coordinator, you deserve to have the opportunity to fail at being a head coach. I think everybody, deserves that opportunity. And I think he has, he deserves one more shot to see if he can fail again at being a head coach. I think he's earned that by the way that he has got his guys to play on the defensive side of the ball. I know, again, on the defensive side of the ball, they're really not wanting to give these guys opportunities, but we shall see. You got your new furry friend there, Jeremy?
Yeah, we got a baby Ewok here. Her name is Goldie.
That's okay. Hey, we bring on dogs on the shows. We bring on grandkids on the show. We bring on a lot of different. I can't bring Rusty on here, otherwise he'd bite my hands and my head, and it'd be a pretty interesting show. But I love the little kid for sure. Okay. Anything else you want to add to this, Mel?
Nope.
Okay, turn it over to you, Andy.
Coaches love continuity. That's great for Denver. I'm sure he'll get another shot. Coaches love being comfortable with the other coaches, and I'm sure they welcome him back with open arms. And that's the coaching carousel. You try to get a head job, you don't make it, you go back to where you are. It's a crapshoot who's going to make it, who's not. I've had some great coaches I thought were going to be great head coaches. They never were. I've had some coaches I didn't think were great assistant coaches. They became great head coaches. So it's a crapshoot. No one really knows, and I'm sure he'll get another shot.
Okay, Eddie.
First you don't succeed, try again. 2026, he's back. He's a defensive coordinator. Vance Joseph, he's considered one of the top defensive minds in the NFL right now. Maybe another year or two with Sean Payton. Just kind of getting some more experience or what have you in that whole administrative side. I don't know, but he deserves another shot, obviously, because he's considered one of the top coordinators. And then, hopefully he gets that shot, and hopefully he succeeds at it.
Interesting was Eddie Prater. They're talking about Raheem Morris. Yeah, he hasn't.
Yeah,
he's failed a few times. That's for sure. Good points, Eddie. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Vance Joseph basically came back as soon as Sean Payton did as his defensive coordinator, and with good reason. Sean Payton recognized how good of a defensive coordinator he was those few years he was with the Cardinals, and brought him in and keeps him in. I think it's a great ad. we've heard his name bounced around the last couple of years for possible head coaching jobs. He's went and interviewed. He just hasn't gotten one. Will he? It's harder for a defensive coordinator to become a head coach these days than it is a good offensive coordinator. And it's because of all the offensive rules scaling towards the offense of the NFL. I think that's the bigger thing. And once that scales back and the rules shift again and make it more even, you'll see more defensive coordinators become a head coach.
If I can interject real quick.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Exactly what he said. These owners, they want the flash, the dance. They want offensive coordinators to become head coaches. So just like he said, it's a little tougher for a defense coordinator to become a head coach.
Great points, Andy. Thank you for saying that. If anybody knows it better than you that I know of, I'd like to find out who that is, but I'm glad you did that. Feel free to interject anytime you want, Andy, after everybody's done, and then interject, which you always do anyway. He catches on fast, people. Great stuff, Canavino. Okay, Candy, you have the last word on this one. Now it's going to get interesting shortly, people. Stick around.
The only thing I will say is he does have, and how do I put this? He has had some allegations in the past numerous times. Now I'm going to say they were allegations, but the fact that it happened numerous times, maybe we'll leave it at that. But I will say that we have talked numerous times on how some defensive or offensive coordinators, that's their niche. That's their sweet spot. Doesn't always mean you're going to be a good head coach. Doesn't even mean you want to be a head coach, or should be. So maybe he found the right fit with the right group. He can have all the success as long as it's not against my team.
All right, now coming up now, I have a Marvin Powell III special. I know Mel loves these topics. Let me tell you, he'll definitely like this one too, because it involves LA and Atlanta, or the greater part. Zakarian Branch leaves USC for Yuga, Georgia in 2025. Let's go over the particulars on this one. He left because he couldn't access the facility after hours to get extra work in. My kind of player. And obviously, he says the Falcons' rookie wide receiver said due to a lawsuit involving a weightlifting accident, he wasn't able to access USC facilities to get the extra work in. Well, I like that kind of a guy. Just because of the way that I am, after I couldn't do the routine stuff that I wanted, it was just a lot of hassle. I couldn't really find a way to build my plan how I wanted to, so it's a tough decision, but that's what ultimately led me to leaving. Branch had 81 receptions for 811 yards and 6 touchdowns in Georgia. And obviously, he built his routine around extra work in the weight room. This guy's a blue-collar player. If I ever saw one, he was best to move on and chose Georgia. According to Branch, restrictions on his facility access played a major role in his leaving USC for Georgia, and obviously he's now with the Atlanta Falcons. With that said, Mel, what are your thoughts of Mr. Branch and why he bolted?
As far as why he left USC, I mean that doesn't. I mean, Lincoln Riley, obviously, maybe a few years ago it might have been different. I mean, he would have had access to the weight room. Lincoln Riley doesn't. His guys don't seem to want to be very physical. Don't want to play very physical. So that doesn't necessarily surprise me. And then, of course, I don't have much love for those guys across town anyway. Right. So it doesn't bother me a bit that they lose a little bit of talent. We're going to see what happens here this year. Some of that shine has come off of Lincoln Riley. He's looking a little dull, and now it's getting to the point where he's got to do something. He's got to put up or shut up or get on out of town. So we'll see. But Zachariah Branch, I mean, he just got drafted this year, right? Got in a little bit of trouble, I think.
Yep, third round of the 2026 NFL draft. I don't think it was as much trouble as it was his size. He was 5'9" and 176 pounds, which is a little undersized in the NFL.
he got in a little bit of trouble before the draft, I think. Didn't he? Something to do with I don't know, whether it was some type of public intoxication or something, or disorder,
Blocked
kind
a
of something to
public
do with.
sidewalk. He
Huh?
he allegedly blocked a public sidewalk and failed to follow instructions from law enforcement. So he
Yeah,
was
something
arrested
like
on 2
that.
charges of obstruction.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but we'll see. Should have a productive career. I mean, there's a lot of talent at Georgia, so we'll see.
Okay, Andy.
Well, I think it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard that a guy switches schools because he couldn't work out at night. They don't have a key they could give him. There's 24-hour gyms all over the country, and with the NIL money, he could have built his own gym. So I just think it's kind of funny that was the reason. If that's the whole reason, it's just hard to believe that someone can't work out at a major college football program at night. So God bless him. I wish him luck, but it's
Well,
it's
they
dumb,
did
it's the
have
dumb,
they
it's the
did have
dumbest it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. To be honest.
they had an issue with a kid. Weight fell on him or something like that, and almost died. And it was actually the kid. His dad used to be married to my cousin, and this was a couple of years ago. He was telling me that that was his son that happened to, and I never put 2 and 2 together and to come up with 4 like that. I was putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with like 12. But it was actually he was married to my cousin for about 30 days or so, somewhere in that neighborhood, and but it was his son. Good guy though. He's just here. I would still talk to him all the time. Good guy. Played tennis down there at I think it was San Diego State or somewhere down there, university, somewhere. But good guy. But yeah, they had that problem. Kid almost died. I think weights fell on him. So I can imagine that if he was going to go in there, they needed to make sure that somebody's going to be in there with him, and maybe USC just didn't have the money to pay somebody to go in there with this kid to lift weights. I guess that just wasn't high enough priority.
USC saying they don't have the money with all the TV money they got recently. That's like saying that
I was being facetious.
Elon Musk can't afford to drive across town in his Cybertruck because he can't afford the electricity.
Right.
I have a solution. He should do Nautilus machines only and stay off the freeway so nothing falls on his neck.
Anything else you want to add to that, Andy?
Like I said, he should do Nautilus machines. Just stay off the freeways so he can't get hurt. No, it's a ridiculous reason. I can't believe it's true. I got to be honest with you.
Well, in a few moments, we're going to go to our featured topic of the night. But go ahead, Eddie.
As a former manager of a Division I basketball team and knowing how managers do stuff, the fact that they couldn't get, especially the number of managers and trainers and student trainers, they couldn't get somebody to, sucks being you, go with the guy to open up the gym and make sure he doesn't kill himself. I mean, at least he's there to call 911. I'm with Andy there. It sounds like I'm there with Andy. Kind of sounds like a goofy idea, a goofy reason to me as well.
Okay, Jeremy.
First off, MDE and Boston Paul, hello. Glad you're in the chat. But that 81 receptions he had last year is in a Georgia school record for receptions by any wide receiver they've ever had. So the kid has prolific hands. I mean, he was 81 receptions on 92 targets. That's pretty good.
Okay, Katie, you have the last word. Featured topic of the night coming up. Everybody out there, pile in. I got a lot to say, and I'm not going to be soft-spoken on this topic. For those of you who know the history, when they get in here, because you got go proud of. Appreciate those that are in. Let's get a few more in. Katie, feature. Go ahead. Who's left? Anybody spoken on it, or is Candy the last one?
Candy's
all right, Candace, go ahead.
He was taken in the third round, the 79th pick. He is lightning fast, they said. He recorded on the treadmill sprint at 26 miles per hour, close to Usain Bolt's top speed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Prior to the 2023 season, he was selected by 247 Sports as a true freshman preseason All-American. We'll see what he can do in the NFL.
All right, let's go to our featured topic of the night, presented by How you doing, Patty? Our featured topic of the night is presented by Destination Discoveries Media Network. That's our sister show talking about travel. All right, let's go to it. Will Brian Kelly ever land another full-time gig? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's put this thing in perspective here. When I'm talking about Dave Doeren, okay, here's a guy. I'll be frankly honest with you. I don't like this guy. I don't. He's very rude to the media. As far as I'm concerned, he's a click and he's a hype machine. He has no conference titles to show for it on his resume. So let me break down the particulars, and then Candy's going to go to the sound. Everybody's going to respond accordingly. When I compare and contrast, I repeat that the word upgrade is very, very important in what we're talking about, because I'm only talking facts. And Candy, why don't you set the actual mood? Actually, I'm going to go with the facts first. The stats from Brian Kelly, his overall record, by the way, is 297, 109, and 2. That's his overall collegiate record. The bowl record is 9-5. Conference titles, we're going to get to that because it gets interesting. Didn't win any at Notre Dame. Guess why? They're independent, but he was 92-40. Not too bad. Won SEC West Division, but he obviously lost to Georgia in the title game. 2 Big East titles with Cincinnati Bearcats. 1 MAC championship with Central Michigan. This is Brian Kelly first, okay? Then he won 6 total conference titles with Grand Valley State in 2 separate football leagues, and he won 2 NCAA Division II championships at Grand Valley State. And let's not forget, he did go ahead and coach at LSU, 34-14. The only thing he did wrong was don't walk into a southern area and pretend you have a southern accent, because they're going to run you out fast, even though it's still collected from it. Now, Dave Doeren, the other guy. His overall record is 118-74. Bowl record, 5 wins and 6 losses. His ACC resume, well, guess what? He has not won an ACC title at all in 17 years at the university. How many second place finishes he had? Around 3 or 4 that I last looked at. Still not enough time, Andy. Okay, for a guy that's been there 17 years. I know when I get to you, Bo Schembler would never tolerate that. And the only conference titles that he has are 2 MAC championships in Northern Illinois. Am I bashing him? I don't have to. The resume does it itself. Again, I said upgrade. He hasn't been hired at all. This guy, is he somebody that you should consider? Why not? What is he doing now? I'll tell you what he's doing now. He's a consultant at Memphis this season. He's an unofficial consultant there. And he will serve as an unpaid unofficial consultant for Memphis during the 2026 season. Why not hang around the game if you can? Okay, you're not getting paid for the school, so he's not getting paid there. Kelly will assist first-year Tigers head coach Charles Huff in turning Memphis into a Power 4 school eventually. Everybody knows he's been there with that. Huff was also consulted with former Texas A&M head coach Jimbo Fisher and former Texas head coach ahead of the season. Huff boasts 20 years of coaching experience and turned Southern Miss into a 1-win team, 24 to bowl eligible in 2025. Will he ever land a coaching gig? I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm lobbying for him to get to eventually get to NC State. Get that bum Doeren out of there. Really? Seriously, really? This guy hasn't won a darn thing. I mean, let's face the reality. And then we can talk about Charles Huff, because this is just unbelievable stuff. Now, Candy, what I want you to do is I want you to preface what took place before I got to this guy when I shook his hand, and take it from there. We go to the tape.
I wasn't close enough to you to hear what you guys were talking about, Scott. It was you guys talking.
All you had to do was know I shook his hand and it said, I'll go ahead and I'll talk to you later. And he says to me, we'll see. What did I do after that? I went right to the moderator. I need to get, if I don't get many questions in this AC, I need to get to this guy. And let me tell you, it'll be worth your while when I get done with this bum, because I don't like him. And obviously him and I never have a good relationship, but I can't wait to go back to the ACC kickoff next year when he doesn't win an ACC title. Candy, you could at least put the schedule up in a moment, and we can take it from there.
You want the schedule up, or you want your question with?
Well, I'll actually want NC State schedule up in a moment, but give me the question. That's what everybody's waiting to hear. What did the Motor City Madmouth do to the most overrated coach on the planet? My goodness, give me $6 million to be mediocre, and I'll take it all day long. All right, Candy, let's go to the question. Everybody formulate their own opinion. I laid out the tail of the tape, and the fact I'm being objective. I said the word upgrade. Candy, go to the question and the stats, and we'll see how we can get. Hello, Coach Doeren. I think you know who I am. But anyways, I want to talk about the way your season ended last year. I know you had a tough loss to Miami, but you rebounded nicely. And I repeat, rebounded nicely by winning out the way you did. You won the bowl game the way you did in convincing fashion, right? So when you look at the fact that you said a mouthful during your opening statement where you don't want to finish second anymore, you want to finish first, because I know you haven't finished first in your time with the ACC. So how much would it be important for you to not only win an ACC title, but get to 10 wins? And talk about some of the new guys that you brought in that will take a 7-5 record to try to get it to where you want to
go. What's the question?
What's the question is this, okay? How much progress have you made during the off season to try to reach some of your goals to improve the football team from just mediocre, but to a lot better and elite status in the ACC, because you obviously have a loaded conference.
Yeah, I think we made a lot of progress. In the second year of our system defensively, I think for those of you that were around our team, know that defensively we went through a lot last year. It's one thing when you change schemes from a 3-3 to a 3-4, have a new coordinator, new language, new players, and then to go through what we did with Coach Elliott and his family and his loss, it was very challenging. And then to have 9 defensive starters injured throughout the season, very challenging. Fast forward that, we got a lot better on defense the last 5 weeks, and there was a lot of momentum, and we've recruited well on that side of the football. I'm super excited about the returners we have and the additions. And, the biggest area of improvement, to answer your question, defensively is our pass rush. We got to get quarterbacks getting rid of the football before they want to. We got to have more sacks, more forced fumbles, more interceptions because of pass rush. And so, we've added some pieces that we're excited to see. And that's what training camp is going to be about. It's going to be about seeing what Harvey Dyson's going to be like. It's, we saw him in the spring. We got a chance to sample what he is, but fall camp's a lot different than spring football because you're on the field every day. And, really excited about the competitive depth in the secondary. Last year in the pit game, we had 4 freshmen playing in that game. And I think we had 8 different starters throughout the year in the back end because of injuries. They're all back. And so now you have a lot of competitive depth. And so those things are important. And, last year, I think we went into a lot of games thinking we were going to have to outscore people. And that's not normal for us. This has been a program that's played really, really good defense over the years. And getting back to where we're not just outscoring people, but we're stopping people. And when we need to lean on a stop, we can. And so that's what this spring's been about. We've added a lot of players. And so, if there's one in particular you want to ask about, I'm happy to talk about it. Coach, you're next.
All right, so there you have it. Candy, put MDE's comments up first, and then we'll go ahead and break it down. Yeah, well,
God is fired up.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead. He has a couple of good ones up there. Candy, go ahead and read them.
Perfectly fair, professional question delivered in a great manner. He was being a jerk to you because you called his failures out, though you sugarcoated it for him out of respect for his position. These overpaid coaches that should be thanking sweet little 7 to 8 pound baby Jesus every day that some AD fell for their pitch during an interview. The landscape is littered with guys like this.
Okay, great stuff, MD. All right, Mel, what are your thoughts about? Now, I'll say one thing about this guy. Whether he understood the question or not, I really don't care, because the bottom line is if I've never seen a guy get more job security for doing nothing, Dave Doeren is it. He really is. With that said, Mel, your thoughts?
I mean, tell us how you really think about him. I
Yeah,
thought he's
exactly.
done a good
I'll
job.
do that. Why do you think I brought Diego Pavi on here on the same show? Because that'll probably follow up next. Now, this is what I think about this bozo. There you go. That's a hashtag bozo.
I actually think, that he's done a pretty good job over there at NC State, where it's a tough place to win football wise. I think prior to the NIL, they had a philosophy. What they did, they bring guys in, they'd redshirt everybody pretty much, and so they'd have older guys, more experienced guys who are in the program. They coach the guys up. They may have been a little bit smaller. There might have been a 2-star guy, had the frame, but just need to get into the weight room. And he was developing these kids, and they were, playing good football. I actually thought that Dave Doeren has done a heck of a job over there at NC State, to be honest with you. And he's been there since 2013, and he's been consistent, even while Clemson had been dominating that conference for a while. NC State was a tough out. I mean, when you went to NC State, you knew you needed to buckle up your chin strap a little bit tighter because they were going to bring it, and because they just take on his personality. So I actually thought he's done a pretty good job. I just think something personal. I don't know what's going on between the two of you.
Bottom line is, I don't expect everybody on this panel to agree with me. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. The only thing I can say is you get paid a lot of money for mediocrity over in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Well, he's not the only one getting paid a lot of money for mediocrity.
No, give me a break. Let me tell you something. Now, hold on. Let me say something. Number one, the guy's anything but Jim Valvano, who won there and won with class and dignity. And the saddest part about this whole commentary is this. He might lead lucky enough to get in the College Football Hall of Fame, but Howard Schnellenberger deserves it because he took programs one after another and rebuilt them and won a national championship. What has this bum done? All I've done is lay it out here on this piece of paper, and all Dave Doeren has is 2 MAC championships in Northern Illinois. What are we to do? Who cares? Who really got picking cares?
He's 95 and 70.
Doeren. Whatever I have personally, don't worry. To be continued next year on ACC Kickoff. I expect this whole crew to watch me box this SOB out of the way. Ever heard of George Foreman against Muhammad Ali? The rope-a-dope? I'm telling you, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, the rope-a-dope. I'm playing the rope-a-dope with this dope. Go ahead, Andy.
If you don't like him, I don't like him.
That a boy. Keep it. Wait, Mel, you said your piece. Let the star of this show, who knows what winning is all about, talk about him.
But I will say this: Mel has a good point. Not easy to win in North Carolina State, especially now that Belichick is at North Carolina. So I think he's doing his best. But like I said, you don't like him, I don't like him.
Well, let me ask you a question. With Bo Schembechler, how did he feel about mediocrity? You tell me.
No, he would have got rid of him a little. He would have got rid of him too. But
how many national championships did Bo win?
It's not the easiest place to recruit. Plus, now you're going against Belichick, so he's got his hands full.
How many natties did Bo win?
How many?
Well, we didn't try to win natty. We just wanted to beat Ohio State.
That was the question. The question was how many natties did Bo win? That was the question.
But can I say something about that? In all honesty. When I was at Michigan, we honest to God.
Was it 3? How many was it?
No.
I'm just trying to get a number out the guy. The guy's he's stumbling and fumbling. I'm just trying to
let me finish.
Go ahead.
In all seriousness, for some reason, for some reason, Bo never really talked about our national championships. The goal was back then, honest to God, beat Ohio State, win the Rose Bowl, and everything else would take care of itself.
He knew he couldn't win one with you guys.
Yeah, let me tell you, this bum hasn't even won a picking ACC championship.
Mel, those are fighting words, Mel. You're putting down my coach. Those are fighting words.
I'll tell you, this bum hasn't even won an ACC championship. Wait till he sees me next year at ACC kickoff. When he doesn't win, Kenny's going to put the schedule up in a minute. I'm telling you, this bum here, BUM, okay, it hasn't even won a conference championship. Conference, ACC, dude, not Big Ten. And I'll tell you another thing. If this bum was in the Big Ten, how you got 17, 18 schools, this cotton picking symptom-head. That's what they say in Greek anyway.
He's won
He had
just as many.
let me finish, Mel.
He's
Hold
won
it, Mel.
just as many bowl games as Bo has
Oh,
won.
big deal. 5 and 6. So what? You know what they pay him to win a bowl game?
Bo was
$1.3
5
million.
and 12.
Oh, big deal. He played a much better conference. NC State, people. We're not talking about big. We're not talking about the Big Ten. This
Conference had
I'm
3
here.
teams.
Let me
back then.
finish. I'm giving you more facts to bury you. They get paid $1.3 million to win a bowl game at the Gasparilla Bowl. Oh my God! As Fred Hanford said, "Oh, I'm having a bad one. I'm coming to join you, whoever the hell it is, because that's
Elizabeth.
exactly what it is.
Elizabeth,
$1.3 million. Wait a minute, Mel. To win the Gasparilla Bowl. You ever know what the Gasparilla Bowl was?
I've
Yes
heard
or
of
no?
it. I've
Yeah,
heard
okay,
of it.
that's good enough. But meanwhile, okay, you
I don't
heard
think
of
Bo
it.
won that one.
Why they got $1.3 million to show up wearing a championship hat over at the Gasparilla Bowl? And I'll tell you one thing, I need Pepto-Bismol for the gas. That bum here.
Scott, you okay?
Scott
Oh,
needs
I feel never
somebody.
been better.
Somebody.
I don't know. That little vein above your eyebrow
I know
is trembling
exactly.
like you're going to stroke out.
Why, you mean to tell me you can see that vein in my eyebrow because I got glasses on?
Oh
Well,
yeah,
you
it's
got
popping on like it's fine.
I'm telling you, Jeremy, you got some really good eyesight if you can see that, brother. I'm
I
telling
got
you,
the good readers on
if you haven't heard of it, you heard it now. Get paid $1.3 million with that game. Oh, give me a break. Really? Seriously? Really? I can't wait for the rope-a-dope to continue. George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, and I'm Muhammad Ali. I'll take the rope-a-dope over this bum all day long. And Brian Kelly, if anybody ever sees him get that job, you heard it here on Inside the Fiction from the Motor City Madmouth. All right, go ahead. I got to leave something left for Eddie.
All I want to say is, Mel, it's been a pleasure being on a show with you. You know, best of luck in probably your future endeavors after this. Since you're not obviously you're not a team player.
I'm not a Michigan.
Yes,
I'm not a Michigan fan. You know?
no. You were pro Dave Doeren. No. I think the original question after all this great craziness was, would Brian Kelly be an upgrade to Dave Doeren?
Oh. No.
Yeah, that was that was the original question.
I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. The answer is no.
Feather Freebird, good to see you.
And Brian Kelly used to be a good coach. I used to like Brian Kelly, but once he went down to Louisiana with that thick Louisiana accent, I think he lost him. he lost himself.
Yeah.
Well, we already spoke about that earlier.
Yeah,
I told him. Go ahead, Eddie. He's gonna be the apparent to me in one of these shows. He's no.
No, I don't think he would be. I think as much NC State is a hard place to win because it's not really it's more seen for basketball than it would be for football, and and Dave Doeren is just the mortal enemy of this show. Enemy number one.
That's it. That's okay.
Go public enemy number one of the Inside the Pigskin. Come on, Mel, get with the program, man.
Get with the program. I don't like this guy.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Could Brian Kelly be an upgrade? Maybe. What he does bring is recognition in the recruiting world. He's very good at recruiting, so that might improve their stock. But at the same time, there is 400,000 times 6 reasons why Brian Kelly wouldn't do it. The guaranteed part of his contract, that $400,000 salary. If he takes another job, he doesn't get it anymore.
That's true. As he stayed broke, they can't pay him.
I thought he gets the offset. Doesn't he get offset? It just offsets whatever.
Well,
he's making.
they gave him the offset on the guaranteed part. For the incentives that were guaranteed for him to get, they had to pay him out that right away. But he's on a 10-year that started in 2021. He was released as a head coach this past offseason. So 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31 seasons, he gets paid $400,000 a year. So 6 times that's $2.4 million. I wouldn't take a job till it's done.
Okay, that's fair. That's money reason. But I'll tell you
what. His buyout. He had a huge buyout though, didn't he?
He got the buyout off of the guaranteed part of the incentives and the bowl games that he'll miss, that type of stuff. That's all guaranteed bonuses that was written in the contract for after each season. His base salary was $400,000.
Okay. So there you go. You got particulars. All right, Candy, go ahead. I also want to put the schedule up there so I can crush this bum even more.
Well, your favorite bum is making $5.25 million a year.
To accomplish nothing.
Well, yes, I guess. Now, I will say NC State has won the ACC 7 times, but the last time was in 1979.
Wow.
For this bum.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
before.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it to another level. That's like me saying before Christ and after Christ. Go ahead. I've never talked religion until now, but I'm preaching the gospel on this topic. Go ahead, Candy.
And Mel,
Yes.
Bo has at least 15 conference championships compared
He's
to
at a
Dave
better
Bowman.
program. He's at a better program.
Big deal. Forget it. We're comparing Bo with no.
Ooh, I love Eddie Prather's comment here. Brian Kelly to me is what Dave Doeren is to Scott.
Ah.
There you go.
That's a
Brian
great comment.
Brian Kelly brings some name recognition, and with the NIL, the alumni who are supplying the money, he's like he's got name recognition, NIL money. He goes to these big donors. Hey, I'm Brian Kelly. We need a couple of million. I think it's a little easier for him to get the money than a no-name coach. And I don't like Brian Kelly at all either, but he's got that name recognition still.
That boy, I'll tell you, I hope that one gets viral. Former Michigan linebacker Andy Canavino sticks it to Dave Doeren.
At the same time, I
Go ahead.
want to know how that's working for North Carolina with Bill Belichick, because they got more NIL money. They were able to buy players, and they won less games than NC State.
That'll be for another day, Jeremy, but I understand your point. Great stuff. Okay, Katie, keep going. You got anything else? If you have a schedule or you have more commentary or both?
I can do the schedule. Let me share my screen here.
All right. Let's go out there and play darts with Dave Doeren. Okay, let's see what this schmuck has so I can bury him next year. All right, what do we have for a schedule? I can't read that.
So NC State at Virginia.
That could be tough for this guy.
Richmond at North Carolina State.
All right, well,
That should be a win.
NC State at Vanderbilt.
They could actually win that because Vanderbilt's not that good.
Okay.
Appalachian State at NC State.
Go. I'm pulling for Appalachian State.
Yeah, Appalachian State, go ahead and pull the Michigan.
Yeah, there you
field
go,
goal.
Jeremy. Drink that Kool-Aid, brother. That's why you're on the show. Go ahead, Katie.
Louisville at NC State.
Oh, he's going to lose to Jeff Brom.
Wake Forest at NC State.
He's going to lose there, too, because I'm telling you one thing. They got that new coach, and we're going to have him on eventually a future show as well at the ACC kickoff. Keep going. There's 3 losses right there.
NC State at Stanford.
Yeah. Borderline.
Cal at NC State.
Borderline.
Well, the Bruins are going three. It's the 3 time zone thing. They'll lose at Stanford, but they'll beat Cal because they're at home.
All right, so you got 4 losses there. Keep going.
Duke at NC State.
That's interesting.
They might win that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Don't sell Manny Diaz short.
Yeah,
but okay.
I'm not selling him short. I'm just saying Duke doesn't have
It's
that many high recruits
that'll be,
either.
That'll be a good game.
It will be a good game.
Okay, keep going, kid.
Syracuse at NC State.
Well,
New York has better players locally. They rank higher than North Carolina, so they will probably win that game in North Carolina State because it's just down the road.
NC State then travels to Florida State.
Which one you picking here, Scott? 2 of your favorite coaches.
Well, here, go ahead. Repeat that one again.
NC State at Florida State.
I'm going with Florida State. I don't care. I mean, I think that NC State stole them last year, but if Mike Norvell isn't in there, Tom Herman will be in there. He's got more offense than Doeren has sense. So I'll take Tom Herman over Dave Doeren.
I do have to answer one thing. He did say he got better recruits on the defensive line, and they expect the pass rush to be improved. Correct? Is that not what Dave Doeren said in that interview?
Yep.
If that's the case, Florida State lost some juniors and seniors off the offensive line to the draft and to the fact they graduated. A young offensive line versus a young, hungry defense, if they're coached right and it works in the second year of the same scheme, they might be able to pull off that upset.
Okay. Did you say Syracuse was on that schedule, Candy?
Syracuse at NC State's the week before.
I said Syracuse is winning that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might give Doeren that much, but I'm not sure. Frank Brown's a good coach, but I think he's about a year away. You know, they do produce a lot of great journalists up there, though. At Syracuse.
Then the last game. Oh, I love this last game. It's the battle for North Carolina.
Yeah.
NC State at UNC.
Until Bill Belichick beats him, Dave Doeren has his number.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so there you go.
There for that game.
So here's what I see. I see Doeren getting about 5 or 6 wins out of this group. Guess what? Round 3, bang! I need Michael Buffer. Come on over there. If that ain't good enough, give me that. Huh?
I saw 7 and 5.
Well, so what? That's another reason for me to attack this bum. I need Michael Buffer. I need Don King. Only in Charlotte, people. I will be there, and I will roast this sick to man. In fact, I met many years ago. I once broiled a turkey with my buddy Stuart out in Kansas City. And I'll tell you, you know how many leftovers you get from a broiled turkey? Close your eyes and tell me what you see, Jeremy. Not eye vessels. None. No leftovers. But round 3, the rope-a-dope, the Thriller in Charlotte. And I'm not going to be doing it in front of that. I'm going to attack this sick to man right in front of them.
That's why I'm glad. And that Eddie Prather agreed with me about NC State is beating FSU. I said that too. So, FSU gets 4 or 5-star O-line every single year out of Florida high school football, more so than Bachelorette gets date requests while at the bar with the pole during her party.
So you know what, Jeremy? Here's what I'm going to say to you. I'll take 7 and 5. That's a one-way ticket to knock this bum out.
It makes them bowl eligible again.
I
think that's all they want them to be.
Bowl eligible, exactly.
So you can collect another $1.3 million of mediocre.
Yep.
Oh, this is round 2, the big one. Red Fox, Red Sanford. Oh, 1.3.
I mean, you have to be realistic. I mean, not every school is going to win the national championship.
Yeah, but this guy wins the national. Hold it. This guy wins the national championship. Championship. Okay, forget about winning the national championship. He can't even win a conference championship. You sick of man, really? He can't win a in the ACC. We ain't talking the Big Ten, brother. We're talking the ACC.
Hey, I mean, if he can win one every 5 years or something like that, that's impressive.
But they won one in 17 years. They only won one in 17 years. Let's set the standard high in Raleigh. What are they known for? I'll tell you what they're known for. They're known for the Carolina Hurricanes and Rob Brendamore. And apparently, this bum didn't learn anything from Rod Brendamore, but boy, he was reaping the praise from Rod Brendamore winning it on. This dumb can't even get 7 and 5. Jim Valvano, if there's a way to bring you back, I will. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do on a future episode here one day. I'm going to go to your gravesite and tell you, man, look what you missed over at Carter Finley Stadium. A first-class bum. So I'm going to go out there and give this shout out because I never thought I'd be doing it in my wildest dreams, but to a former colleague, Ralph Williams. I'm going to call Dave Doeren an external bum. He's an external bum.
And I'm glad that Brad says your USF Bulls buddy. Yeah, great show as always. It's Brad, your USF Bulls buddy. So that's who that is. Yep. Yeah, it's good to see him in the chat.
Yeah, don't worry. I got something that right out there that'll be talking about some choice words that Mario Cristobal has for him and just a moment. Great stuff, Brad. Glad you're in there. But I'll tell you, for those of you that figure out I don't like this guy and I can't wait for round 3 next year in Charlotte. But this has been a blast tonight. I've really been waiting for this episode for a long time. And Brian Kelly, I owe you an assist. If I ever get you in front of me, brother, we will have the best one-on-one interview on the planet. And I'm going to say thank you very much for allowing me to find a new external bum, Dave. There you go. It does it for this. All these people that trusted me and are out there, thank you very much for having confidence in me that we can have our featured topic, one of the best featured topics of the night, with the greatest crew on the planet, because I love this crew. We got Mel. Okay, he's got Diego Pavia. He can stick it to me in a minute. Okay, but meanwhile,
we all have.
We
Yeah,
all have stuck at the Diego
Yeah.
Pavia.
But at least
Yeah,
Mel,
exactly.
Haven't
at
said
least
anything
Mel,
about Diego.
yeah, at least Mel made it to this show,
So-
so he scores
the-
a lot of points with me, whether he agrees with me. I don't
Yes.
expect everybody to agree with me on these shows. I really don't.
I
If you have an opinion against me, I'm okay with that. But I
Yeah.
know one thing: dealing with mediocrity, this guy is a king of mediocrity, and that's okay in Raleigh when it comes
Yeah.
to football.
And Patty Grimes, thanks for mentioning that, because the country music world is reeling tonight. Dolly Parton, an icon, has passed away today.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Dolly.
Didn't see that one coming. Mm.
Nobody did.
No.
A lot
Yeah.
of people see a lot of these deaths coming
I
anymore.
didn't see that one.
Let's continue while I have a voice, although I'm sure I have a couple of our parents that'll take over if necessary. But
What's
I'm
5
glad we
and
got
12? What's 5 and 12? I mean, is that excellence? I'm just asking for a friend.
What are
Oh,
you
you're talking about bowl appearances by Woody and the University of Michigan, right?
Well, that's Bo's record in bowl games. I mean, is that excellence?
You know,
I'm just
let me tell you,
asking for a
Andy's-
friend. Just
Let me
asking
tell you
for a
something.
friend.
Andy's really started to like you, but don't get him to turn against you over that, because this guy's a hell of a coach, right, Andy?
Yes, he was great. Bo lost his, listen to this stat. Bo lost his last game 11 straight years. Think about that, because back then, if you didn't win the conference, you couldn't go to a bowl game. There was no other bowl games. So he lost his last game 11 straight years until my senior year. We won his last game. We won the Rose Bowl for him.
There you go. So we have a Rose Bowl
Wait a minute.
reference
So
here.
he
So
lost
wait,
a lot of
wait,
bowl
wait, wait.
games. That's what it was.
So-
He lost a lot of
So
bowl
he
games.
wins. So we got a Rose Bowl reference here, and a
Gasparilla Bowls,
Gasparilla Bowl.
Gasparilla Bowls, whatever. He lost those.
No, he didn't lose the Gasparilla Bowl. It wasn't even invented then.
But anyways, I like what Eddie Prather asked you, Scott. I would love to know who makes Scott's Mount Rushmore of grudges he holds.
You know what? I'm going to have to come up with a topic. Candy, write that down, okay? That's a great
I'm
topic.
sure we know. I'm sure we know a couple.
Well,
I know
that.
one right off the
Well,
top of my head, and I
yeah,
know
yeah,
if
exactly.
I say his name, you're
Yeah,
going to see
Candy-
that vein pop out again.
Right.
Howard Cosell.
No,
Well, there's
no. Who's
two
the
of
other
them.
one? There's another one.
Well,
No.
That's all right. You know what? That's a good topic for later. Leave it out there. Candy, you got to write that one down. I love that.
There's
Okay.
another one.
I'll tell you, MD, he's on a roll. Whether we get to all the topics or not, I don't care. We got to the big kahuna anyways. But if bowl appearances matter to the point that Mr. Farr is saying that Joey Chestnut would be the greatest man ever every time he finished the Coney Island not dog eating contest when visiting the pod. There you go. And Brad Walker loves Scott going after Doeren. Hey, Brad knows how I feel about this bum, external bum. All right, let's keep going. I'm having a ball with this show tonight. I've been building for this for a while. The Mount Rushmore shows. Let's talk about the guy who's not getting paid a lot of money to go to LSU, but he's ideal for Lane Kiffin. Ed Orgeron, his LSU contract will pay a total of $100K. Not too bad if you can go under Lane Kiffin, right, Mel?
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, I'd take $100K. I mean, he's not going to do anything. Shake hands, kiss babies. I mean, the guy won a national championship there. So you want him there, and he is beloved at LSU. So you want Ed Orgeron there. Plus, they have some history with one another too. So I mean, that's how this thing goes. You know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You get a
Fired
head
up
coaching
Scott
job.
needs to join the country club Thursday.
I'll tell you what, if this emotion carries over to Thursday, I might be on there after all. Then I'll have another guy I can beat up on if he shows up, Mark Mancini. Oh, you're only good for 30 minutes with him, though. Oh, yeah, I got him tomorrow
But
morning.
Ed, I don't know how much work Ed is going to be really doing. I mean, all he's there, he's just there because he's LSU royalty. He won a natty there. That's all. That's the reason why he's there. Come tell some. He's a great storyteller. Has great stories to tell from the days, pre-NIL about how things were done and all that kind of stuff. Great guy to be around. So I mean, Lane is very smart to bring him around because all it's going to do is help him, alleviate some of the pressure that he has, maybe going out there and shaking hands and kissing babies and all that other kind of stuff that you have to do as a head coach.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. Eddie says I want to be on that show when you do that subject. Guess what? Yeah, I got my own Mount Rushmore plan on it, Eddie. I'll figure out what show we're going to put it on. But that now that you planted the seed and you got me fired up over this incredible show, one of the best shows we've ever had on the network, Eddie. Candy's already written it down. I have to come up with my Mount Rushmore. I have a feeling Howard Cosell might end up being on it too. That's just a little tip, but that's another story. All right, let's. Who else is? All right, what do we got, Andy? What are your thoughts about?
Well, in the old days, you didn't want the alumni around because you can get in trouble if they gave you a free meal or a couple dollars under the table. So I know Bo Schembecker would shoo these alumni away. Now, Ed's going there. They want the alumni around because they want the NIL money. They want the donations. So that's a good thing to bring them in. He'll smooth the donors, and that's what they need to get the big NIL money and to win big.
Okay, go ahead, Eddie.
Seems like a no-brainer to me. Bring around the guy who was beloved by the alumni and won a natty, and to what Mel and Andrew were saying, he's going to be able to rub elbows with the donors with the big money, and you'll be able to get the the big players in.
Maybe they'll bring Les Miles back.
I was waiting for a Les Miles reference.
Hey, he won a championship too. The Mad Hatter.
Yes.
I like the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only problem with bringing Les Miles back is he liked the cheerleaders and assistants too much.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
That's true. That was good. All right, go ahead, Eddie, or whoever's on this.
It's Jeremy. Jeremy's up.
All right, go ahead, Jeremy. We're having a blast tonight, people.
But yeah, they love Ed Ogeron and OSU, especially with bringing the Ohio State guy that was buried on a depth chart in, who ended up being a first pick overall, in Joe Burrow.
Okay, fair enough. Candy?
Let's face it, he won at LSU, so why wouldn't they want to bring him back? He's considered by some to be the greatest college football team in the modern era, the 2020 LSU team. He's going to be a big recruit, and that's what they need. That's why you bring back people like that,
Right.
so that they can recruit. And in today's day and age, when you're NIL, you need to get as much money as you can so you can pay your players. Let's face it, Miami's done it. Look who they have on the sidelines. Michael Irvin at times,
Right.
all these other different, so I get it.
Okay, let's continue on.
I
Rapid
love that
fire.
Eddie Prather comment. Coach Ogeron reminds me of old Farmer Fran from The Water Boy.
That's fine. I don't even know. I'll take your word for it, Eddie. Don't worry, though. We're going to.
He was the guy in the bibs that talked with that southern speak
Yeah.
so bad you couldn't understand what he was saying.
Well, that's a good imitation. Good stuff. I didn't know you were. What do they call it? One of those.
Impersonator.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I knew it started with an M. I just wasn't sure exactly what it was. Okay. Goes to show where I'm at. RM Dizzle, we're trying to dazzle people tonight. And if you miss, and I'll tell you, if you miss part of this show, I guarantee you get your money's worth when you go out in here and listen again. Let's talk about some college football coaches, shall we? Beginning with Kirby Smart. His first round picks are 21, then losses as Georgia's head coach. That's pretty good track record for putting people in. Yeah, Indiana has yet to lose a home game under Kurt Signetti. They're 15-0 since he took the job.
Wow.
Kalen DeBoer is college football's winningest active coach against top 25 opponents. He is 20-6. Kirk Ferentz has more wins, 209, and NFL draft picks, 101 than any other active coach. That doesn't surprise me. Dabo Swinney has the most important national championship appearances active coaches with 4. So there you go. And we'll just leave it at Dabo Swinney. Have more to come on this. Some thoughts about this stuff now.
Oh, what were you just rambling, Scott? What were you talking about? I'm so sorry.
Why? Is that called selective perception? You didn't want to hear about it? Because UCLA
I thought
not
you were
on
still
the
talking
list.
about Bo. I still thought you were talking about Bo and Doeren, and my bad.
Yeah, I figured. That's where your mind is at. Good stuff. Okay, so none of that impresses you at all?
Well, I missed it, so you're gonna have to go over it. I'm sorry.
You're gonna miss. I got your mind thinking about Doeren. That's why I know where your head is at. It's fishing and
That meme I have there is the Yinzer meme that we say, because that's a Pittsburgh saying, that word there.
Okay. let's go over it again for those Melfar people that missed it. Okay. Kirby Smart is more first round picks 21 than losses as Georgia's head coach. Pretty impressive, Mel. Indiana has yet to lose a home game under Kurt Cignetti. They're 15-0 since he took the job. Kalen DeBoer is college football's winningest active coach against top 25 opponents. He is 20-6. Kirk Ferentz has more wins, 209, and NFL draft picks, 101 than any other active coach. And Dabo Swinney has the most national championships appearances among active coaches with 4. All right, there you go, Mel. Did you pick it up on the replay?
Yeah, I did. So Kalen DeBoer has more wins against top 25 teams. Is that what you said? That's surprising to me, given what he's done in Alabama. I don't think what he's done in Alabama has been all that impressive. Now, mind you, what he did prior to Alabama, was very impressive. But, going in there, following Nick Saban, changing that whole program, changing everything over there, I have not been very impressed with what he's done there thus far. Dabo Swinney having gone to more, that was pre-NIL, when Clemson was dominating the ACC and really was like an SEC school. I mean, the way he was recruiting.
Right.
Surprised by Kurt Ferentz. You said he had 200 and some odd wins and only 100 and some odd first round draft picks. Is that what you said, or draft picks, period?
Yeah.
It was first round draft picks or draft picks?
All right, go ahead. Anybody want to?
It was first round.
First round, okay.
First round draft picks, you said.
Oh, it was 100.
He had more. He had more first round draft picks than losses. I think it said, or something like
that. That's impressive. Coming, that's impressive. I have to say that's impressive.
See what you learn on this show. You learn who my Eddie Prather put it in perspective, who my Mount Rushmore is, who I hold a grudge against. That'll be on a future show. And if Eddie wants to come in, we'll definitely bring him on, at least for that segment. Go ahead, Andy. What impressed you about that list?
Well, Kirby Smart got 2 national championships, 850 winning percentage. College football is all about coaching. Look at Cignetti taking a program that was the worst in the country. Pros is all about personnel. College is all about coaching. You get the right coach in college, like a Kirby Smart, and you're going to go a long way.
Fair enough. That's good. Great stuff there, Andy. Go ahead, Eddie.
I mean, they're all impressive. The one that impresses me the most is the Kurt Cignetti one at Indiana, undefeated. And, staying undefeated is one of the hardest things to do. And, everybody's going to be, they're going to be under a microscope this year. Every game will be, people will be watching for them to lose. So it should be, and just what he was able to do to go in there, and he's done it at all levels now. So impressive.
Okay. Go ahead, Jeremy.
The Kurt Ferentz thing. I love it for one reason. One of those players is Jack Campbell. He plays for the Lions.
Good enough. I like that. Candy?
Scott, you had Dabo Swinney on that list, right?
Yeah.
How many years has he coached at Clemson? Like, to have that kind of longevity, that to me is impressive, because in a day where it's win now or you're out, or have a losing season and you're out, like, to have longevity as long as he has, he is the winningest coach in Clemson football history and in the Athletic Coast Conference football history. Those are two big things that you don't see longevity like that anymore. So I think that's pretty impressive.
Take notice, Dave Doeren. You sick the man. I'm still fired up. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's talk about Diego Pavia. Has lost over $1 million to play in the NFL. Why? Well, number one is NIL valuation at Vanderbilt was reportedly worth more than $2 million. After the 2026 NFL draft, Pavia signed with the Baltimore Ravens as an undrafted free agent. Reported 1 year NFL salary is around $885,000. Likely took him $1 million to $1.5 million pay cut. also becoming the first Heisman Trophy finalist. So go undrafted since 2014. Oh, Diego, where is he headed next? My prediction: the United Football League. That's it. Canada doesn't want this guy. Go ahead, Mel. I know he's your favorite guy. You like to kick around. Hey, no, I've kicked around Doeren.
No, really, I don't.
Oh, yes, you
No,
do.
I don't like to kick anybody around.
Oh,
No,
but
I
you
don't like to kick anybody.
or maybe you
around.
like to kick me around on this.
You around, yes.
Yeah, that's fine. After 5 years, anyways.
But it's a loving kick.
But
it's not a mean kick.
Well, I mean, you just hit the wagon to the wrong guy. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with him as a player. And I hope everything works out for him. I hope he gets an opportunity to further his career, whether it be in Canada, whether it be the UFL, wherever it may be. But the NFL was going to be that was going to be very difficult for him to make it in the NFL. And we talked about it, the incident that he had at the at the Heisman Trophy presentation, that incident, having Johnny Manziel as his advisor, mentor, or whatever. Those are a couple things that didn't look good for him and didn't help him out in any way whatsoever. And the fact that he was a little brash, and I can understand he's very confident in himself and in his ability and what he can do and the things that he did. I mean, he had a great couple years there in Vanderbilt. I mean, they beat Alabama that one year. So he beat a lot of people, to be honest with you. And a lot of it had to do with him and his play. So, he had a lot to be confident about, but he needed to show a little humility. And maybe he would have gotten an opportunity, but when you have that type of noise attached to you, a lot of teams don't want to deal with that, especially if you're the backup or the backup to the backup to the backup. So it's unfortunate. I hope he gets an opportunity to continue his career, whether it be, like I said, whether it be in Canada, the UFL. I'm sure he will. And I'm sure he's going to do great things because, I mean, that's just the way the guy's made up.
He should go to Canada. Doug Flutie did pretty well being a short midget, but Canada doesn't want him. They'll probably put 100% tariff on him.
Well, why do you say Canada doesn't want him?
They said they have no interest in signing.
The
Toronto Argonauts.
The Toronto Argonauts are the ones that holds the fact that if he comes to the CFL, they already said they want nothing to do with him. You know why? There was another player that had a lot of hype coming out and was a very self-confident guy and didn't believe that talent didn't need to work hard, and they took him when they had his rights by the name of Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, there he goes. It all comes full circle. Andy, what are your thoughts about this guy?
Well, he's got a lot of talent, that's for sure, and I think he's going to end up somewhere. And I think he could be successful in the long run. We shall see. But I don't know I wanted to kind of change the subject just for a second. Did you see the Big Ten just passed the thing? I don't know if it'll hold up in court that they're not going to sign any players that have been in the NFL.
Well, the SEC now that you brought that up, the SEC's done the same thing as well. So what we're going to do is, I'm glad you brought it up, Andy, because you just got one topic ready for next week's edition of 108 Stitches.
Okay.
No, not 108 Stitches, Inside the Picks, and I'm delirious about the Doeren guy. I had to bring up Red Fox 3 times there, having a big one over this bum. It still hasn't gone away, by the way, people. But yeah, we'll bring it on next week. It just goes to tell you the Dave Doeren. Well, you know how he had Joe D-O-E in there? Reminds me of John Doe. Okay, go figure. All right, that's how it really feels. I think I've laid it out there good tonight. And Candy's playing with Rusty. That's okay. Go ahead. Eddie, what are your thoughts? Yeah, but I'm glad you brought that up. That we will be talking about that more. And the Big Ten and the SEC generally follow each other when it comes to topics like this.
I think he'll land somewhere once he calms down and he realizes that the noise around him needs to be quieter and that he can't make it without himself. Until that happens, I don't think anybody's going to want him, especially with all the noise. You don't want that from your backup.
Well, Doug Flutie was short, but he thrived in Canada, that's for sure. So let's continue on to Jeremy.
I kind of agree with MDE. He'll either end up in the AFL or the LFL. If anybody doesn't know what the LFL is, that's the Lingerie Football League.
I like that. Great stuff. Okay. I like that. All right. Well, just because of that, we'll go to your Lions topic after that because you said that. Okay, go ahead, Candy.
So Just because you had success in college doesn't mean you're going to obviously have success. Nobody wanted to take a flyer on him. There's a lot of quarterbacks in all of college. Doesn't translate that all of them are going to get jobs in the NFL. That's why there's different leagues. Maybe he'll get a job someplace else. It'll remain to be seen.
Yeah, like I said, the UFL wants to have him, and they'll bend over backwards to get this guy. Then again, well, enough said about the United Football League. Let's talk about the track record that Brad Holmes actually does have with draft picks that have been extended. Like Jeremy mentioned before, Jack Campbell's been extended 4-year, $81 million. Aiden Hutchinson, 4-year, $180 million. Jameson Williams, 3 years, $93 million. Panay Sewell, 4-year, $112 million. Got Kirby Joseph, 4 years, $86 million. Ali McNeil, 4-year, $97 million. Amon Ross St. Brown, 4-year, $120 million. And Derek Barnes, 3-year, $24 million. I know Jeremy's going to add Jameer Gibbs. I don't have his pay numbers, but let's talk about the fact that Brad Holmes is keeping a lot of his core players. We'll start with you, Mel.
Well, I mean, you should. If you draft well, you should reward your guys for living up to their draft status. And so, with the tight ends, for whatever reason, with Hockenson, for whatever reason, they didn't want to pay Hockenson. I don't necessarily understand that, but no, that's one of the problems that you have. One of the problems that I think any general manager would love to have is that when you draft well, that you have to pay these guys. And so they've drafted well, and they've been very smart about it. They paid them early, and generally when you pay early, you pay at a discount, unlike the Cowboys who like to pay late and like to pay a premium. So they've done a good job with that. They've done a good job of that, of identifying talent, bringing the talent in, coaching them up, and then paying these guys. That's the only way that you're going to that you can build a program, and then you add little pieces to that. So. That I think that just says a lot about, what the Lions are doing as an organization, their scouting department, a little change in philosophy from what they've done in the past and prior regimes where really guys weren't getting to a second contract because they just were missing out on drafting people other than maybe Ndamukong Suh, but then, they didn't want to pay him, but franchise tagged him, I think, 2 or 3 times, and, that worked out well for him. But yeah, I mean, that's what you want to do. That's the type of problem that you want to have.
Okay, go ahead, Andy.
Keep your veterans happy. Keep them very happy. You don't want a disgruntled locker room where you got people complaining and bitching about their contracts and, the Lions are cheap in the old days, blah, blah, blah. So I say it's a great thing. Keep them happy. Keep the veterans happy. And I think it helps the whole organization when you do that and you look to the future. Get them under contract. You don't need holdouts. You don't need disgruntled veterans. And I think it's great that they did that.
Eddie.
Your rookies become veterans who can then teach the way of the Lions or whatever your club is. The general manager is there to build the team. If you're getting to their second contract, there he's drafting right. He's an evaluator of talent, so he's doing his job. And you want to build a stable foundation. The way you do that is to build, to what Andy was saying. You want the veterans to be happy, and you build that. That's how you win championships.
Jeremy.
Well, let's see. It started back the year that Panay Sewell and Amon Ra had the chance to be extended. They didn't let either one of them walk out the door. They got them taken care of. Then they turned around and did Aiden Hutchinson and Jameson Williams in the same year. So far, they did Jack Campbell and Jameer Gibbs this year. The reason why they haven't done Laporta and Branch is they both are coming off of injury and they haven't proven that they can stay healthy yet. And I'm quite sure if either one of them play at least 8 games this year, you'll see their extensions done before the end of the season because they are worth it if they're healthy. When healthy, Sam Laporta is easily a top 5 tight end in the league.
Okay. Great points. Andy?
For every GM, you want to hit on all your draft picks. I mean, that's just the way it is. And that the way you hit on them is if they have success, then yes, you give them the next contract. Like Mel said, you want to do it when they're early instead of being like Dallas and paying extra for them because you waited way too long to try and do it. So, um, Lions are doing at least that right now.
Okay, let's continue on. Andy Canavino knows the thing about state rivalries, and guess what? We got one that will be returning. It's hard to believe this one's actually not there, but obviously due to the conference realignment, it is one. The Civil War is back. You got Oregon versus Oregon State have scheduled a series, and it will return in 2028. This will be the first time. Uh, this will be the first year they haven't played since 1944. Two teams won't be playing. Sad but true. Their next scheduled games are 2028, 29, and then following that, it'll be 20, 31, and 32. The Civil War lives, but it will not play in 2030. My goodness. All right, Mel, these in-state games are going to suffer, and this is one up in Oregon that does.
Yeah, conference realignment. Everybody, big schools bailed for the Big Ten, left the little small schools there just to figure it out for themselves. Now they got the reimagined Pac-12 or whatever the conference is called out there now.
Right.
But I hate it. And Andy probably feels the same way. I mean, we're old, we're traditionalists. I like the way things were. Like Andy talked about both, didn't talk about national championships. Coach Donahue didn't talk about national championships. All we talked about was winning the Pac-10 at that particular time. And I'm sure all Andy and them talked about was winning the Big Ten. And if you did that, good things were going to happen. That's what the coach would say. You take care of that, good things are going to happen. So I'm a traditionalist. I hate to see all this change. I know, change is inevitable. The money has just gotten ridiculous. The networks are in complete control of college football. ESPN is in complete control of college football. I don't particularly care for that because I don't think they particularly care about the fans. I definitely don't think they care about the players, and I certainly know they don't care about tradition. So, but it's nice to see. It's unfortunate that they won't be playing for a while, but I mean, it's inevitable because they're no longer in the same conference.
Andy?
Well, Oregon State's had a couple shaky years the last 2 years, but I'm going to be honest with you. It might be a benefit that they don't play Oregon because Oregon, with the Nike money behind them,
Right.
I don't really see Oregon State ever catching up to Oregon. I mean, they're going to win what one or two out of 10 games maybe, and Oregon's going to keep getting better and better. They're going to be on top of the Big Ten, I think, even this year. And as long as Nike has got that money behind them, I don't think Oregon State can compete anyway.
Nike and Phil Knight. That's how they
Yeah.
got in the Big Ten to begin with. They wanted
Yep.
that Phil Knight Nike point. Great point, Sandy. Go ahead. Andy.
Oh yeah, no, it's just it's sad to see that the old traditional, the in-state rivalries are fading away to big money. But times change, money gets bigger, and people go for greener pastures, and it's just it's an unfortunate way, So at least they get to play in next year.
Okay, Jeremy. Jeremy?
The in-state rivalries disappearing because of all of these. I'm talking. You don't hear me?
No, we
we
do.
hear you now.
We hear you now.
Yeah, I hear you.
I was talking.
Hear you loud and clear there, sir.
I was like, all these in-state rivalries being taken away by all of these moves to different conferences, and then the fact they don't want to renew them because they're playing out of conference. Is this more of Oregon, or is it the other one that doesn't want to play against the Ducks because they can't beat them? That's the problem.
That's a good question. Not disagreeing with you. Just hate to see in-state rivalries. Take a pause. This one obviously did. And Andy said it right. I mean, got Nike money, Phil Knight, really. This to me is a cupcake game as it currently stands. Go ahead, Candy.
This isn't the only in-state rivalry that is missing. There's a lot of them that have gone by the wayside. You can talk about Miami too. Miami isn't going to play Florida for how long and stuff like that. So there's a lot of these because of all the new conference realignments and we got to play so many games in the conference that you're not going to see a lot of these. And it's sad because it's been a tradition, but there's a lot of different traditions that have gone by the wayside, unfortunately.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, let's continue on here. And let's talk about Charles Woodson Jr. is committed to Michigan over Florida State, Oregon, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and others. He's a 2027 three-star safety. And we'll turn it over to Mel.
Hey, good for him. I mean, taking up the family business. I never really wanted I only have one son. I never really wanted him to play football. He did play. But that's great. Great for him. I mean, I know as a parent that's exciting. As a kid, it's exciting to go to the same school that his father made a terrific name for himself, or had the opportunity to go to the same school that his father made a name for himself. So that's going to be pretty exciting, man. I know what that's like. Going to the same school that my dad went to, and that was pretty exciting for me. And actually playing with the guy who played for a guy who actually played with my dad. So it was pretty cool. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool experience for him as well. That's where he decides to go.
Okay, go ahead, Andy.
I'm curious to see if he puts a lot of pressure on himself because his dad won the Heisman Trophy there, because it's Michigan. So we shall see. Supposedly, and I could be wrong, you might want to look this up, Candy, he was only a three-star athlete, which isn't the biggest deal. I was a three-star athlete only.
You're
Yeah,
right.
but so we'll see how he does there. Hopefully, he can succeed and start in the defensive backfield. But I just hope the kid doesn't put too much pressure on himself because of what his dad did there.
Did we have
That's a
stars
great
back then,
point.
Andy? I didn't even know we had stars back
Well, I just I kind of said I was a three-star. I was pretty slow. No, I was pretty slow.
then. Okay. All right.
2.5 star,
right.
Andy. Get it right.
All right, so there is one thing I want to mention real quickly. I have a topic on the new Michigan president, Cybelle Rauer. I'm going to wait till next week because there's another layer to the story that I want to make sure I get everything in full detail, because I went off so much on Dave Doeren and added Red Fox to it. I want to make sure this topic gets a proper respect that it gets. But it's
Really?
talking about
Seriously?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'll make sure this topic gets a proper respect, because this is a really important topic. Andy, I want to make sure we all have the proper time to talk about it. So Michigan President Cybelle Rauer, we'll wait till next week's edition of Inside the Pigskin. Okay, go ahead, Eddie.
Well, good luck to Junior. Hopefully, he has as good a career or at least a good career like his father did. Wasn't Charles Woodson the one who did the Nike commercial? It's all about the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it about the
He won
shoes?
the
Hey,
Heisman.
man, yeah. So
Won the Heisman.
good for him.
Primarily a defensive player to win the
I
Heisman.
love MD.
Yeah, well, we all know MDE's joking around, right? Did I miss something? Yeah. If you missed it, you're going to definitely read. Yeah, go ahead, go back. And this is a classic. This is called a Inside the Pigskin Classic, presented by Destination Discoveries Media Network. Go ahead, Jeremy.
You're up, Jeremy.
What was this kid's name again? Which junior is it?
Charles Woodson.
Charles
Woodson Jr.
And he's going to be going to Michigan?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
2027.
Good luck to him. I hope it works out. But again, everybody's already talked about it. The pressure of following in your father's footsteps.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work. Ask Shedeur Sanders, who's not the starter for the Browns.
Right. Great points, Jeremy. Go ahead, Katie, close it out.
The one thing I will say, he is a 3-star recruit. He's 5'11", 170 to 175 pounds. In his junior season, he had 73 tackles, 8 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 kickoff return for a touchdown. So he has some decent stats.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how he does. Because remember, it's not just about, yes, he's got the pressure of following in his father's footsteps. It's about the team that's around him, too.
Okay, good point. All right, we got another soundbite I want to get to tonight. FIU named 6'7", 250-pound transfer of Appalachian State, J.J. Cole, the starting quarterback for Week 1 versus South Florida. But guess what? Mario Cristobal doesn't have anything good to say about the place where he got to start. Candy, go to the tape.
Let me get that share screen. We are going to
And I didn't ask this question, in case you wondered. Somebody else was smart enough to do it.
So this press conference might be a little bit more. Coach still on the right side, second row.
Hey, Coach. Thomas Christopher of the League Winners. You started your head coaching career at FIU, and you were kind of the CFO of that program. Can you just talk about all the work that goes into building that program and how it's helped mold you into the coach you are?
Every single day. There shouldn't be any misconception or misunderstanding as it relates to that. And that all that means is nothing but your best will be good enough. So we feel strongly about that. It is led by them. They hold themselves and their teammates to really, really high standards. Pretty simple. So this press conference might be a little bit more.
Coach still on the right side, second row.
Hey, Coach. Thomas Christopher of the League Winners. You started your head coaching career at FIU, and you were kind of the CFO of that program. Can you just talk about all the work that goes into building that program and how it's helped mold you into the coach you are today, focusing on Miami?
How was that experience? Well, when you walk into a place and you sign a contract, they tell you, well, you guys are about to go on 5-year probation. You're going to have 33 ineligible players, 17 plus on top of that. You're going to lose a scholarship for every player ineligible going forward due to contemporaneous penalty for the APR. But the good news is you play 7 of the top 10 teams in the country that's about to go to Division I. By the way, you just lost 15 straight games before you got started. You want that job? But you know what? We bet on our people. We bet on the South Florida community. And it wasn't, they often ask me the questions, but the credit goes to all the people that chose such a difficult and tough road. Because you're not just a coach here. You are the academic advisor. You're the chef. You are the travel coordinator. You're the fundraiser. I mean, that's been documented. We were supposed to go to play Alabama, and we got to the airport, and they said, "Where are you guys going?" We're going to hop on our plane. We have a game tomorrow against Alabama. They said, well, "You guys didn't pay for a plane, so you're not going anywhere." So give my credit card to the wife, go get 200 meatball and cheese subs at Subway, bring it back to the players, let me figure this out. So you are faced with obstacles that you would normally face, and honestly, I'm grateful for that. I got to cut my teeth on some very difficult situations and circumstances. And I thank God for that because it really helped me appreciate being at a place like Miami nowadays. So, but yeah, we pay for our planes now.
Coach, we thank you.
All right, we go from one extreme to another here. Number one, Mario Cristobal, by the way, is in my book. And I'll tell you, his attitude is he doesn't ever disrespect the media. Of course, the reason why Dave Doeren had a bad day because Mario Cristobal kicked his butt, and Candy will come up with a score there. But anyways, let's talk about what he had to bite off at FIU. He didn't have a lot of good things to say about him, but sometimes you got to start with the tough jobs to get the better ones, Mel.
Yep. That was a great answer. That was a great question, and it was a great answer by Mario. Obviously, he's earned that opportunity that he has there at the University of Miami. I can't say that the University of Miami is a better job than the job that he left, but that's the job that he wanted because that's where he went to school. And he's going to do everything he possibly can to make sure that he stays there as long as possible and leaves on his own terms. But I thought that was a great answer.
So, Andy, I want to ask you a question. You got Bo Schembechler, now you got Mario Cristobal. Now you have a real coach. Before we had a real jerk and all the other words, expletives that I used earlier. But I'm trying to calm down a little bit. I mean, servants can't.
I think you guys just got off on the wrong foot.
No, we didn't get off on the wrong foot. The problem was my name is Gus the Mule, and I didn't take my 7-Eleven and drill it up north.
I think you just need to shake hands, bro. Hug it up
well, we shook hands, all right. I squeezed that idiot so hard that he knew that I had the eye of the tiger, people. Is what I had. And asked the eye of the tiger, Apollo Creed, rest in peace, bro. What are your thoughts about Mario Cristobal, though?
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a great speech. And if I was him, I'd bring it across the country and show it to some recruits because that got me fired up, that guy talking about all the success and all the obstacles he had to overcome. And I thought it was great. And I'd love to get a bunch of kids in the room that he's recruiting and show them that speech and show them how successful you could be and overcoming obstacles.
I work with a guy. He's a class act in every sense of the word. And Andy, when I see you out in Naples, I'll be giving you my book as a gift here because you're going to be in the next one anyways, and you'll learn a little bit about Mario Crispo. I've enjoyed my time working with him. All right, go ahead, Eddie.
I like the two other guys were saying. It was a great speech. It's great. He learned from the bottom, and he just showed perseverance pays off, and you do keep moving forward. Where you are today is not where you're going to be tomorrow, and everything he went through made him who he is today, the character is today, and the appreciation for everything he probably has at Miami that he didn't have at FIU.
Jeremy?
I'm laughing at MDE's comment here. Mel Farr kicked around the greatest college football coach Bo ever more than a 17-year-old in a 1989 smoking pot eating free Taco Bell due to his friend and playing hacky sack 7 hours a day.
That's great, MD. You always come up with some classics. That's
But what I loved is when he said the adversity, he goes, what other coach is going to take this job?
Right.
And he spelled it out, the loss of scholarships. Every time a player becomes ineligible due to academics, they lose another scholarship the next season. And the fact that he had a winning record there at FIU says a lot about how good he can coach, having to use more walk-ons than scholarships.
You ever heard of T.Y. Hilton?
Yep.
Say everybody yes or no.
Yes.
Guess what? Mario Crispo was his coach. Go ahead, Katie, close it out.
Mario is a great recruiter. Mario has obviously overcome obstacles. Did Mario want the Miami job? Absolutely. He believes, we talked about this earlier in the show, that you help those that where you went to school and you want to see them do well. A lot of guys would love to coach at their alma mater. So kudos to him. Kudos to responding like that and talking about that and making everybody laugh in the room. Like we all of a sudden, he was one of the first ones up on the stage. It was just really good to see. And it was really good to hear him talk. Mario's always been very good. He's very much about team and giving credit to not just him. He said it wasn't just him. It was his whole, team of coaches, all the players too. So kudos to Mario.
Yeah, my dealings with Crispo have been nothing short of outstanding. And I did write him in my first book, and I'll make mention of him again. He's just class all the way. The other one, you take the CL off, and then you know what you have on the back end. At least nobody can sit here and say I swore in the air. It's just you have to kind of think about that one a little bit. All right, two other topics I want to get to, one of which is the fact that NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said there will be teams outside the United States. We could get into more of it at a later date, but let's just talk about your preliminary thoughts on this one, Mel.
What about there being teams?
There'll be more teams international. We'll pick up on this a little bit, but this is what we're talking about for the moment.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, maybe in Canada, I could see a couple teams. Maybe, I don't know. It's
Where
too
would
much.
you put them in Canada? Toronto's too close to Buffalo. You're not getting that. You're not going to Toronto.
Mexico, there's too much stuff going on there, so I don't know. It's tough because the guys have got to want to live in those places. I would think, and so that makes it difficult. The NBA, obviously, baseball's being able to do it as well. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm sure it could work with football there as well. Maybe in Vancouver. I'm not sure, but having a team overseas, like in London or in Paris or
Berlin, Germany. Yeah.
Australia or something. I don't know. South America. That's tough for me to see something like that to happen. Now I know in the World League, when I first played in that inaugural year of the World League of American Football, they had 3 teams that were stationed over there, and they had 17 teams over there. I think they had London, they had Berlin, and they had Spain, a team in Spain, Barcelona. And those guys lived over there. I was thankful I didn't get drafted by one of those teams because I certainly didn't want to live overseas. But we played a game overseas, and so I mean, it can be done. It can be done. It's just a matter of, the players and their family, getting them to live over there. So I'm not saying it's impossible. Obviously, there might be an opportunity for them to get some things back in the collective bargaining agreement.
Right.
They could get some things. So we'll see.
Okay, Andy. I mean, obviously, remember Mike Keller years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, Mike Keller, I think, actually was part of it.
Yeah, he was the general manager over at Sacramento. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you have Mike Keller in comment. So one of these days, I'd like to get a hold of him, but we were able to do the video last time we tried. But what are your thoughts about that possibility that they want to get more overseas?
If there's a buck to be made, the NFL will squeeze it out of a coconut, okay? And if there's money to be made, in the NFL, they will exploit it. Now, the problem I have is time zones. They're going to play a game, and I don't know the time zones, but it's going to air in the United States at 2 in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm not sure it could work, but if there's a way to make money, the NFL will do it.
Okay, that's fair. I like that. Great assessment.
Yeah.
All right, Eddie.
I mean, they've already attempted it once, as Mel was saying, in the World League of American Football, and then which turned into NFL Europe. So what they'll, I from a business model perspective, they would just take that model and see where it went wrong and make the adjustments. They're already starting. They're laying the foundation already with the European games.
Right.
So they're already in that process. So it's just a matter of when they're going to say, we're going to put something permanently over there, and it's probably in our lifetime we'll see it.
Okay, Jeremy.
I believe it will be Canada, and I think it's going to be somewhere like Vancouver or British Columbia. And there's one place we haven't even mentioned that isn't even as far, but it's still considered overseas for us. They could just put a team in Hawaii because there's already a stadium there that they could revamp.
Which one?
Hawaii.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Think about that. That wouldn't be as far. It would be a 6-hour travel time versus 12 to 18 hours going overseas to like Australia or to Europe. I think that makes more sense, especially as Mel said, with all the discourse that's going on between America and Mexico. I bet you the Mexico City game gets moved again this year back home to the United States.
That's a good point about, can I say, that's a good point about Hawaii. My senior year, I played in the Hula Bowl in Hawaii. It was an all-star game, and they packed the stadium. So you could be right. They're hungry over there.
Yeah, but I don't think that market's big enough. I mean, there's only so much you can do there. There's those islands. There's only so much you can do. And I played in that Hula Bowl too. I also played in the Aloha Bowl. Same year, but I don't see a professional team being in Hawaii. I don't see that one.
Okay, we'll get Jeremy out in just a second. Candy, we'll do it right now, Jeremy. Then you got to roll, and that's this. Okay, give me your thoughts about the fact that Ryan Day is thinking about moving Senior Day to week 1 to avoid the distraction of the Michigan game. I know this to me.
That's because he's being so weak mentally lately. Just like they made it a felony to plant the flag on the field anymore. Okay. I swear, Ohio State's becoming more wine sissy than the LGBTQA plus community.
That's pretty good. All right, Jeremy, let everybody get a hold of you. Great stuff. See you on Fire Up Thursday night.
You can always find me right here every Tuesday on Inside the Pigskin, and on Thursdays on Fire Up, or the Country Club, as Scott calls it. But he's pretty fired up. He should show up this week. We can probably make some.
You know what I'm thinking about it? I'm kicking the tires on it after tonight's act.
And of course, you can find my writings on the South Florida Tribune, and underneath the affiliates ratings and underneath the Motor City Tribune heading. And don't forget, you can also find me on my channel, which is the KCB Sports Network, where I'm live every day of the week.
Great stuff, Jeremy. See you Thursday night. Have a great night. And by the way, Mr. Ballrick, well done. And look for that package in the mail. And when you get it, you better wear the hardware. Otherwise, you can see me fired up for all the wrong reasons Thursday night. All right, but as long as it's there, you better wear the gear. Okay, go ahead.
If you do come on, top 10 offensive tackles NFL all time, and top 5 for your home team.
I get involved with that stuff. I talk about the real heavy stuff. I don't do that.
Just letting you know, that's two of the topics.
Well, that's fine. You guys can talk about that. You give me the heavy stuff, and I'll blow it up, as you saw tonight. All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
You see you Thursday. All right, Candy. Where were we? Who's left on the last topic here about Goodell? Eddie, you already said it. Candy, go ahead.
So, will the NFL expand? Of course, it will. Rogers has said it. Will it be international?
I think we lost.
At some point, I'm sure, but like to Mel's point, it will be kind of hard because
I can't hear anything. Anyone there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we're here. Yeah.
Can you hear
We're
me?
here. I can hear.
I can hear too.
You there, Andy?
Andy, you can't hear us? Something happened then when you're with your.
He must have burned up his computer with everything I've been saying.
Must be. Back to the NFL overseas. Could I see it? It would be hard, especially now that we're talking about how many games they'd have to live overseas. So I don't know about putting it overseas. In Hawaii, the capacity is a 50. They have what? I looked it up. It was a 50.
I lost the sound. Is anyone there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We're all
Can't hear.
here.
Oh well.
He might have to log back in.
Yeah.
Might have to log back in. We'll have one more topic. Otherwise, I can wait on it next week for you. And we'll just add it to the agenda. Can you hear me, Andy? It's almost starting to sound like a Verizon commercial, isn't it? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Right.
almost. But Hawaii, their stadium is what, 50,000? Could I see it? I suppose, but I don't know that they'd have enough fans every single week filling it that it would make it worthwhile.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath due to the stadium size, but that's a good thought anyway. So something to think about, but you never know. Can you hear me, Andy?
Yeah, I don't think you can. Something
Burned
happened.
he burned up his computer with me yelling at it the whole night.
Probably.
No, it's okay. That happens. That's how I'll be on Thursday night. All right, let's see what he's got. Okay, he's off. So are you done with that one, Candy?
Yep.
Okay, Mel, let's talk about Ohio State. There we go. We'll bring him back in.
Okay.
All right, can you hear me now, Andy?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thanks.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. I don't want to have to hold over two topics. Okay, let's get to the next one. And the one I know you probably would love to talk about. All right, Jeremy talked about. We're going to go to you, though, first, Andy, and that's this. So is it a genius move that Ryan Day moves his OSU senior day to week 1 to avoid distractions to the Michigan game? What are your thoughts, Andy?
I'm a traditionalist. I like the tradition of it, staying the same. My father played for Woody Hayes, and he's against it, so I'm against it.
Okay, fair enough. I like that. Great stuff. Okay, go ahead, Mel.
Just because you're against it, I'm for it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a traditionalist too. I think it should be done at the end of the year. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. I mean, I know there's a lot of pressure for Ryan Day because they've been getting their little tails handed to him on that game against. Now that's ridiculous.
All right, Eddie, you drinking the Kool-Aid?
It needs to be at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Period.
What about you, Candace?
End of the season. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You can't mess with that. Period.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's unanimous. Ryan Day, I won't call you out like I did John Doe. I mean, Dave Doeren, but I will say you're like Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing, at least when it comes to tradition. How you like that? Hogan Cereals reference. Yeah, Sanford, so why not Hogan Cereals? Great show tonight. Boy, did we have a lot of fun tonight, didn't we? And guess what? In the eyes of Tony Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon, we're going to do even better next week. Although I won't have a kicky bomb like this bum, external bum. And I'm still rocking, baby. And it's little 10:37 p.m. Eastern time at home. Ain't no stopping me now. Oh, Rusty, God help my kitten. He's my service cat. All right, with that said, okay. Mel, let everybody know how they can get a hold of you.
You can find me on all the social media at Melfar Jr. Follow what we have going on for the youth here in Georgia and in Michigan at Melfar Superstar Found.org.
All right, go ahead, Andy. You're a rising star on this network. You have a good time tonight, Andy?
Yeah, I love it. Thanks for having me, and I'll be back next Tuesday. That's where you can find me.
There you go. I love it. This guy getting better with every show. He's only been on 3. He's going to be Robert Redford when I get done with him. He'll be the natural when I get finished with you, Kennedy. I don't make many guarantees, but I can make that one. I'll tell you what I tell Dennis Brook on the sports rap. I'm your agent, brother. I'm going to tell you what. You lead by me. We're good to go. So, all right, that's fine. Facebook, no Facebook. It is what it is. We'll just go from there. Okay, let's get that off, Candace. Okay, I don't know how to get rid of it. So Ed, let everybody know how to get a hold of you.
Well, you can see me here Tuesday night on Inside the Pigskin. Tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on the Motor City Mad Mouth Show, where anything can happen. Just listen to Scott. And then finally on Thursday night, you can find me Sports Wrap with the gang, starting to talk some hockey. And then you can catch me on all social media at Ed McAndrew.
Okay, Candy, take us home.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth, talks about his 40-plus years in the industry and how it has evolved, old school media versus new school media. Get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. Audiobook is also out there. There's a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where we have a plethora of great content. So go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you see the red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. Honestly, what are you waiting for? Just click it, like, and share us, and turn on your notifications so you're notified every time we go live. Then we created a travel YouTube channel called Destination Discoveries Media Network. That is the QR code in the top left corner for Destination Discoveries Media Network. Please subscribe to that channel. If you like to travel, we go to a destination and you never know what we're going to discover there. We talked Monday night, last night, on No Limits, which is the show that goes to Destination Discoveries. We talked about a landmark in every state. So all 50 states have different landmarks. We talked about them last night. So go check out the latest edition of No Limits. Back to you, Scott.
Anybody heard of Brian Piccolo?
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Guess what? We're gonna have a video on there because we were at Brian Piccolo Sports Park in Cooper City over the weekend. It's a pretty neat place. So we'll have that up on next week's edition of Inside the Pigskin. Hope you can join us there for that one. Meanwhile, I want to thank everybody all over the world who's had an opportunity to watch the show. Without you, it wouldn't be worth our time to do it, but we enjoyed everybody that's been tuning in. Obviously, we call this my rant of the year. Okay, because now I'm on the hook for a show with Eddie Prather where I have the 4 biggest grudges I hold. And obviously, one of them, all you have to do is look at the title and I'll give you a clue. It's not Brian Kelly. It's the other bum, the external bum. With that said, that does it for this edition of 180. I'm still baseball. Inside the Pigpen. On behalf of Mel, on behalf of Andy Canavino, my rising star. We got Ed McAndrew, who's steady as can be. Candy, our crack researcher, and Jeremy Ball. My name is Scott Moore. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Inside the Pigskin. Have a great night. We got a doubleheader tomorrow on the network. Hope you can join us for both shows. God bless everybody. And I want to tell you, everybody on my crew, Andy, Mel, Eddie, Candy, and Jeremy, you guys are awesome, baby, in the eyes. Take my towel. I had to leave it on a high note. I've been high all day. Why would I finish now? Okay, that does it. Good night. See you next Tuesday night. I'm fired up. Get ready for Rusty. Bye.